Hello, Charito. Hello, Philip. Nice to see you today. I hope the discussion will be. It was too. It was scratching. It has to go away.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Leslie.
Hello.
So we will start. I will admit Usi. I switch my camera off and let's start. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the next Power of Touch Industry 5.0 event in which we write on the back of a language towards the future. Wasteless world, we call it. And we have one word, and the word today is drum or drums. And I'm really looking forward to speak about a simple term like drums. And because I know that Philip has to leave earlier, I will start with you, Philip, today. Philip, if you close your eyes and you hear the term drums, what came first to your mind, please?
Thank you, Michael. Hi, everybody. What about drums? Drums, it's an instrument for me. You can produce beautiful song. It's also a signal device. Like in older days, you used also drums when they started to go into wars. Um, and yeah, for me, it's kind of, it keeps the sound together. Like it's the most important instrument in a band because with a drum, you produce the right song, like how fast you play. And for me, the drum, it's a cool instrument, but it's not so nice when you have neighbor with a drum. When they practice, it can be quite loud. But yeah, I guess it's a really cool instrument. So that's for my part. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Philip. Charito, what about you? If you hear the term drums for the first time, what came to your mind, please?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Yeah, I can't stop smiling, Michael, when you told me it's about drums, actually. So I was thinking. So when I close my eyes, hello, good evening, everyone. I close my eyes. All I can see is that musical instrument. There are several forms. There are big drums, small drums, snare drums, and all that. But this sound that emits from this, the sound that emits from it is quite, you know, big depending on the size of the drum. It's an instrument which is really important, especially because you can use it for festive occasion, together with other drum kits. You include it in a symphony orchestra and everywhere. So drums for me is a musical instrument that gives us the, shall I quote unquote, the word shock, because when a drum is stricken that hard, the sound is huge. So it's like announcing to the world, listen, listen, everyone, we're going to, play a music or whatever we're marching on. So that is drums for me. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Charito. Leslie, you are the next one. If you hear the term drums for the first time, what came first to your mind, please?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Um, I think that for drum, for me, is a simple form of communication that is without innuendo. And the drum was used for communication, for action and different meanings, but there was no perception or human interpretation because the signals from the drums already were defined. There was no ambiguity. And I think that that kind of communication, in many ways, is simpler for sure than the communication we have among people now, which is privy to truth, lies, perception, views changing all the time. So drums remind me of a clean, uninterrupted form of communication without ambiguity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Tracy, speaking about communication, what came to your mind first when you hear about the term today?
Oh, hello, Michael and everyone. Drum is very interesting because I'm a drummer. The first musical instrument I ever had was a drum. I was in the marching band since second grade until sixth grade in my elementary school. So I'm very familiar with this type of percussion. And drum in my culture is very tight related to military. And also, I think maybe worldwide in the military history, drums always the one that signifies the beginning of a battle. It also has a lot of energy as an instrument as well. It's very encouraging. Cheerleading is also very powerful as well. So from language standpoint, the drum, other than as a noun, it can also be used as a verb. So drum on is probably the most common way we use that for a verb. It's like a cheer on, encouraging people to do certain things. On the contrary, there are things such as a string instrument. It could be the one that signifies the ending of it, something to come to the end, a little bit softer tone, because drum is very powerful, very prompt, and also I think is a little bit on the positive side. And all the others, other than percussion, other string or bass, all the other instruments are a little bit softer in different tones. That's my interpretation. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you very much, Tracy. Ussi, what came to your mind if you hear the term drum?
Thank you, everyone. When I close my eye and I hear the word drums, I do not just hear sound. I feel the touch. I feel the touch of hands on woods and skin, the careful, honest contact between human and instrument. It is not just about playing, it is about connecting. The touch brings rhythm to life. It carries energy. It carries emotion. With one touch, a person can speak without saying a word. I see a Charlie touching a drum, not just to make noise, but to explore feeling. The drum responds not like a machine, but like a friend that listens and answers back. Drum remind us that the human touch still matters, that our hands have the power not to harm, but to unite, to communicate, and to help. So for me, when I hear drums, I feel the touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ussi. It was a very interesting point of view. Nupur, you are the next one. So please, what came first to your mind if you hear the term drums?
Thank you, Michael. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So it is varied meaning because I believe different keywords they used to take different meanings culturally and geography wise. So for sure, many of our members in this call mentioned about an musical instrument, and it's very true. And if I start from there, in India there are kind of 56 kind of different type of drums. Those are being played at different part of India at different tunes and at different volumes and different rhythms. So, and their size wise also they're very different. So this is first. And so if we talk about musical instrument itself, the rhythm it creates, why I just mentioned the number, the count, because the rhythm it creates, it is so close to heart, so that celebrations across different communities in India have the drums incorporated so that the heartbeat, because if you know Lord Shiva, whom we worship, because you know we in India, in our culture of Hinduism, we worship idols, right? So Lord Shiva and the drums he played, that's used to call as the rhythm of the universe. That is how the universe rhythm first started. So it's a kind of so much attached. I'm just talking about taking this acronym because it is so much associated with and so much close with the culture that we carry or bring in India. Said that, uh, again, if you talk about colloquial languages in India, almost all the communities we talk about beating your own drum. So it's a bit um, considered as that exaggerating things for oneself. So it is in that way also in terms of the different colloquial languages also used when someone try to show a small thing as a big one and try to show his or her own creation as the biggest. So it is having so many relation, but I must acknowledge that this drum, the word and its meaning, they are very closely related to the race, the community, the beats, the music that it carries. I have not seen drum being played much at sadness, but yes, that is also at cases uh, we found, not very largely, but it is there. So it's very much related with human in that is all about to say here.
Thank you very
What do you
much,
think?
Nupur. Shami, the same question for you. If you hear for the first time that the word will be drums, what came to your mind, please?
Thank you, Michael. Thank you all. Uh, Drum, I mean, it is a music instrument, but drum and sound, uh, it collaborated with emotion, rhythm, and unity. When I hearing the drum sound, the body, and I feel a cultural, any cultural program, then drum music give me a rhythm, attention, and I cannot explore how to feel it. But drum is meaning for a power of touch, human connection, often being a being with rhythm. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Shami. Philip, I will, because I know you are leaving earlier, very special question for you. Do you think that the drums can lie? You have to unmute yours. Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry. Uh, Probably they can. They can cheat a bit. um, because you can pretend, like during concert, you can correct the band. Like when they play wrongfully, you can overthrow them a bit, change the rhythm. And I mean, yeah, but it's a really hard question, really. um, yeah, I don't know what. I think I have to give it back to you now, Michael.
Don't worry, Philip. I will ask the same question the others as well.
Yeah, I will listen carefully to their answers. Thank you very
All
much.
right. All right. Thanks a lot. Carito, the same question for you. Do you think a drum can lie?
Your question is, can a drum lie?
Yes.
Of course not. If you're talking about the drum physically, the literal drum, the snare drums, and we have the drum, like the drum of oil, a barrel of oil, that's a drum too. It contains 208 liters. The eardrum is a drum. Yeah. So this don't lie. But the people who are holding them can lie, can be truthful, can lie, can do a lot of things. And it may show in that object itself. But if we're talking about drums as an object, of course they don't lie. If they come old and tattered and all, then they show that when you strike them, the sound changes. I mean, to say it grows with the years. When you say the barrel is old and all that, everything, it doesn't lie, it shows because it's non-living. But the people who are using it are living, then those people can lie, if you ask me. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Leslie, I feel that the same question should be asked, I should ask you as well. So,
Well, I'm the only one who pointed this out, that drums do not lie, that they are a method of clear communication. There is no ambiguity. So the drum itself does not lie. Could a human send a mixed message? I guess you could do that. But the one beautiful thing about that kind of communication, that it's for good and it's for movement forward and it's clear and there is no innuendo or interpretation other than the design of the communication. So my answer would be no, a drum, as Chirito said, is not human. Therefore, only humans lie. I will stick my neck out and say that it's only the human being who has the conscious and subconscious mind. Animals do not have conscious awareness, so everything is instinctual. But for us, we can tell the truth or lie. And lying is based on fear, and fear is what motivates and what people react to. I would say probably out of 90% of people really do not think at all. They are busy reacting based on fears that were real and that occurred to them. And you can't, the faith in yourself um, cannot live with the thought of fear. So it's complex in the sense that, to answer the question, is no. I would say flat out no. An inanimate object doesn't have a conscious mind, nor does it have a subconscious mind. Therefore, it cannot lie. That's what I'll say. Thank you, Michael.
thank you very much, Leslie. Tracy, you are not the only drummer. I was drummer myself in a school as well, but it was very basic, so I don't compare it myself to you. But Tracy, I will give you the same question because you are the one who spent most time with the drum. And the question is, can drum lie?
I don't think the drums can lie, same as drummers. Drummers are it's very hard for drummers to lie because the signals, the beats are so straightforward, and also the interval is so short, and it's very less sophisticated compared to other instruments in the band. For example, guitar, keyboard, saxophone, all the things, even the singer, they can all manipulate their performance, but drummers, it's almost impossible. Thank you, Michael.
That's interesting. Thank you very much. Usi, another question for you. Is heart, mean heart in the city, is it a drum?
Sorry, Michael.
Is a heart, so human heart or any other heart, a drum?
Yes, it beat like a drum, but it's not a drum. The heart can touch and the drum can touch. So for me, I can say the heart is a drum. Yes.
Thank you very much. Nupur, a question for you. You are mother, and do you remember when you heard when you heard for the first time the heart of your child?
Yeah, it was most desired and the most desired, most adorable, and most happy moment that can ever happen in my life. So, this is the, if you talk about the expression, then this is the expression I carry and I will in my lifetime.
Thank you very much for that. Shami,
Thank you.
Shami, have during the I will not call it the revolution, let's call it the changes in your country, have been drums used on the streets by the students, or we don't see it anymore in the protests?
Yes, Michael, have you hearing?
My question was if drums has been used during the protests in your country.
Sometimes they are now use the drum and the protest, and it is the is going to right track to drum, then rightly beat and focus what they are want, and then drum use when they are now win. They now win in the situations, and the fact of that drum used for celebration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Philip, before you go, one more question. Do you think we can use drums on the construction, or we should, let's call it, we should use drums on the construction site of Wasteless World?
Thanks,
Of
Michael.
course.
Yeah, today you have tough questions, but yeah, of course we can use them. I mean, we have also already cable drums. You recycle them, and I mean, it's not only a music instrument. It can be also like cable drums, and you can reuse them and recycle them. And yeah, definitely, of course, I would say I agree on this one. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Charito, if we will use the drums on the construction site, so to resonate our mission, should it be a big drum or a small one? We cannot hear you, Charito. I see you are not muted, but we cannot hear your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, now we can hear you.
So what was the question, please?
The question is, if we will use drums on the construction of Wasteless World to resonate our mission, should we use the big ones or the small ones?
Oh, so we are trying an analogy here. You know what, Michael? Right now, we're talking about drums. I'm not alien to drums because I was in high school. I was the bandmaster for 3 years, second, third, and fourth year. In those years, I was so well known because we always went out to different cities using the band and it was we brought with us the big drums, the snare drums, the cymbals, and all those things. We announced our presence through that, the pass in review and all those things. I was the master, the band majority. Now the industry 5.0, you are the drum, Michael, because you sounded it so huge. You are a man from Bratislava. It's like you're tapping your the drums of awareness about the wasteless world. And you can do that as the drums, the voice of the drums, as our voices around the world. The one you are doing a parade around the world using your voice as, and that is a drum in itself, because drums are the loudest part of any when you go in a parade, you hear that from so far, far away. Boog, 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 and all that, the big ones. And the sound becomes good when you hear the drums, because it's the one that gives us the tempo, the marching signal, the going forward, the on your mark, the drums. And you are the drum itself, Michael. And this room, I think this is part of the repertoire. It is part of that music band where the drums, the middle is you, and us around you is trying to signal also with our own voices, using our own, maybe probably small drums, the snare drums, the tom toms, and all that. So if you say, can we do that? Yes, of course. In fact, what we're doing now is already sounding off as a drum, if I may use an analogy on this. Do you get my point, Mike?
Yes, yes. And thank you for
Yeah.
your words.
So go on marching, go on around the world using the drums of your intelligence and your desire. Keep the fires burning. People will listen, will hear, because that's a drum. That's the biggest drum around us, and and we have people around us who are so brilliant. I am glad to be here every Wednesday for 3 years already. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Charito. Your answer was very emotional for me. And Leslie, we have heard right now from Charito that we are, not only me, all of us, we are the drums. But there are many who try to silence us. My question is, how do we prevent being silent as a drums? So how do we go around? You probably noticed that I was banned after 11 years, or not completely banned, but I'm silenced on medium.com, where 1,411 years of my work is being placed, but they silence me right now. So what can we do? Because there are many digital drums, and these are our words which we place online. How should we prevent to be silenced?
That's an interesting question. I was really loving what Charito was talking about. I got a lot of experience with bands myself. So the way that you are not silenced is by being compelled and almost obsessed in the positive way, not a negative way, to provide a service such as you, Michael, such as me, such as each one of us. The degree to which we provide it or the intensity is unique to each of us. But one to stand in the face of adversity, which means speaking out even when there is perceived and maybe real jeopardy, must be driven that is strong enough to outweigh any fears of being hurt, fears of being chastised or imagined. And above all, you do not know how you will do it. You may know that you're going to write, for example, for Medium, or this is how you're going to express yourself. But ultimately, for the drum beat to be heard around the world. You're right. You cannot be silenced. So whatever it is that we're doing that we don't want to be silenced, wasteless world, mindset geek, I want to understand that they have complete control over their thoughts. They can, and that their results match what they think about the most and what they feel as they're thinking it. Then I'm kind of losing my train of thought. But you have to be compelled enough to do Wasteless World as an example. Any one of us, with whatever our service is at this time, our purpose is service. So the way to answer your question is the way you do this is to outweigh fear, which is part of our composite. And the only thing, faith is the only known antidote to fear. So it has to be faith in our ability and our deservability. But even if we're not sure about that, if we're compelled to be the one to do this without knowing how, without caring what other people say, that is the epitome of our heart beat being heard around the world. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Tracy, did today's discussion encourage you to take your drum out of the cupboard and become drummer again?
Well, I use my drums all the time, mainly for entertaining myself and also to keep myself active, because if there's only one instrument left in the world when I'm getting older, that will be drum, because that's the one will keep my hands, feet, body, mind, everything together. It's a full body workout. Yes, the answer definitely. But I also want to say one word about the question you asked, Sharito and also Leslie. I will say, if you want to amplify the drum, make sure you are not just a drum. You have to be an orchestra. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the answer. You know, Tracy, I may be a small drum, but you are the orchestra. All the ambassadors, all the people who say, you are which instrument you will be in a band or in an orchestra, Usi?
I was use a cedra.
Mm-hmm. Is it because the number of tones you can play?
So as a someone, I learned that the power of drums is not only in how they sound, but in how they are touched. That moment of contact between hand and instrument, between soul and rhythm, is where true music lives. Let us not forget that behind there is a story waiting to be felt. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Usi. Just to tell you, inform you all, we have 5 minutes left and Philip has to leave now. But Nupur,
Thank you,
I
Michael.
have asked about the beat of the heart of your child. And you said that you will never forget this beat. There are people who use their bodies as drums. And you know yourself that in India is running a lot of in Industry 5.0 field, or at least that many use the term, but do not spread the know-how or the original knowledge, but spread lies. And the question is, do you think that we can beat the drums which sound over the lies and we deliver?
Yeah, we can. I think we can.
Great. Great. So let's do it. Shami, you will have probably today the last word. And my question to you is, do you think that we can establish the digital drums to be same powerful as the drums which has been described here, which really resonates through the power of touch? Do you think it is possible to do it in a digital world?
Yes, Michael, it is possible. If drum is now continue the tuning of rhythm, and I think you are a drum. If you are dream to beat, it is the possible to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you all. We have 3 minutes left. And what I would like to say, what was very interesting for me was not only the musical instruments which everybody of us know, but as Ussi pointed out, that it is the power of touch as well, because without a hand or a stick, the drum will be silent. And it is us, it is humans who can resonate it, who can do it in a rhythm. But it's not true that we are the only ones, because as I know in animal world, some animals use organs which, let's say, are similar to drums to communicate between each other. I think it's similar to what Tracy says before. So it's a way of very clear, transparent communication. And what I like about is that Tracy says that it is very hard for a drummer not to be heard, because it should be heard. It is the heart of the orchestra. It gives the beat. And if we dance usually to the beat itself. And I really love this conversation today, because drum seems to be so simple term. But once again, we have proved that spending more than 1 second on a word is very useful. It is helpful. And even those who cannot participate today, as Dr. Ash or Pat or others, they are not silent drums. They are just now in a different orchestra, delivering the message to all. And that's exactly what we have to do. And if we will beat in one rhythm, in one beat, all for clear image of wasteless world, I am sure they cannot silence us. They can silence one source or the other. They can even shoot a drum down and destroy it. But all the other drums will sound. And if we sound in the same rhythm, we all will see wasteless world together. I will not live in it, but I know to be able to see it. So thank you very much for your time, and have a nice time for your waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe, be free, be human, be the drum of wasteless world. Thanks a lot. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.